Hello, friends, and welcome to the Weekend Catch-Up Club, the coffee morning show brought to you live every Saturday, direct to Facebook and available later on demand at youtube.com/gamertag. You just caught us in the end of a conversation just back screen there. We were talking about parents on the dance floor and how children don't really want to see their parents grinding on the dance floor. It's not really a thing for a child to be exposed to, but it was a good fun kind of blether as well. And all of a sudden the countdown had ran out and like, oh crap, we're live. Christina, how you doing?
Hi, I am really good. How are you, Ross?
I am awesome. This is the third time you've been on the show. What's going
I
on?
know. You can't get rid of me, apparently. Apparently, we just like talking about games and stuff. So
Exactly. I know. Oh my goodness. So episode 35. That's wild.
wow,
I know.
that is crazy.
I
That
know.
is crazy.
And it's my birthday tomorrow. So this is like a celebration show, sort of.
Oh my god! Yay! Happy birthday! Woo!
Thank you. It's been a big week for Skyhook Games.
It's been wild.
Right? Idea Xbox featured.
That was to see something you've been working on an Xbox showcase is just insane. That's crazy.
I can absolutely imagine just how wild that must be. And of course you got to kind of like sit on your hands to not like announce before you're supposed to announce it that we're going to get featured in the Idea Xbox showcase. So come on, tell everybody what it was that got shown off.
Okay, so at Skyhook Games, we are working on Lawn Mowing Simulator. It's so big because it's such like a niche community and a niche game. But we have a Discord channel,
Yep.
and it's got over, was it 900 members?
Wow, that's wild.
Honestly, it's got so many people in this Discord. It's crazy. We didn't expect it to blow up as big as it has, but we've got like channels in here for like people IRL lawn mowing.
Yeah.
We've got memes, and that's the dev channel as well, which is really active. Yeah, we've just got so much stuff and feedback and support and everything, so it's crazy.
Lawn mowing is one of those things where it's such a niche, weird thing that people who love their lawnmowers in real life are fully on board. Like Train Simulator or the what is it, like the HGV, you're making deliveries, like those simulators. And then now we've got Lawn Mowing Simulator. So there's a couple of things I want to know about this game. First of all, for you, are you stripes, vertical stripes, horizontal stripes, or circles?
I'm just a mess, honestly. I can't drive a lawnmower to save my life. I start off doing like the vertical stripe thing where you're supposed to like, do a line and then do a little turn and do another line. But I always miss the turning point. So there's like a strip of grass and I'm just like, I have to go over it and go back and it just ends up like this. Oh, it's so bad. So bad.
Wavy lines is the new pattern.
Yeah. Whenever I send like a video to the guys in the chat, they're just like looking at the video like, what are you doing? Like, sorry, I'm not born to mow lawns, but I'm sure I'll get better at it.
Yeah. Just a quick one. I think your microphone has dropped from your headset and it's now the internal microphone. It just kind of switched there. I don't know what happened. It looks like it's kind of switched to the internal mic from your headset. It just changed for a wee second there.
Hello.
There you go. That's you back. That's you back. Yeah. I mean, I'm the same. I'm like super wavy lines. It's almost like you've strapped your lawnmower blades to a camel, and it's just like off you go, and it can't keep straight lines.
Honestly, it's so bad at it. It's crazy.
And also, can you talk anything about the like the detail in which you can customize your lawnmower? Is there a customization option in there?
So seeing as the demo was yesterday, I can talk about stuff on the demo.
Okay.
The lawnmowers at the moment, you can't customize them because they're actually we've actually partnered with like Stigger and some other companies. So it's their lawnmowers that are in game.
Cool.
So at the moment, there's no customized options, but there are for like your character and stuff. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got like a pink outfit on my profile.
Is it like a boiler suit, kind of like racing suit, but you've got it's all pink and stuff?
It's like a little polo shirt and some
Oh,
like pants. Yeah, and the first time I picked it up, I picked the pink option and I showed the team. And one of my colleagues was like, "I knew you should have put pink in the game. That was a good idea." I was like, "Yeah, I want to be a pink gardener, so yeah,
totally.
it's a good idea."
I can imagine maybe further down the line where more customization options open up, you can have like the like gentrified lawn mowing club where they're super posh and like bowler hats and coattails and stuff, and maybe a cane on the side.
That would be so cool. Just have
Yeah,
different like clothing options. That's
yeah,
the nice thing. The nice thing about the Discord though as well is the feedback channel. If you drop feedback to us or comments, we do read it. We're reading it every day.
yeah.
So who knows? We might see your comment and just put it in the game.
Yeah. Is it PC only at the moment?
It's on Xbox at the moment for now, and it's on Steam now for wishlisting.
Right.
But it will be coming to PC.
Oh my god. Right. Okay. I'm gonna have to after this. I'm gonna have to get my bacon sandwich all sorted, and then get the lawn mowing simulator downloaded, and then I'm just gonna mow the lawn all afternoon on a Saturday. It's nice and sunny outside. I should really mow my actual lawn, but nah, sack that. I'm gonna mow the virtual lawn and see if I can do
Nah,
like zigzags as well.
that's too much effort to mow your own lawn.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is like a information panel telling you how to download it on the Xbox Insider Hub.
Right.
So I can just send that link over to you if you like.
Please do. Yeah. Yeah. So how challenging is it to keep on top of a Discord channel for like like an early access style of game or demos that suddenly gets populated with like so many people that you have to try and moderate and respond to and keep engaged with? Is that like super challenging, or is it fairly straightforward with it's a good team?
It's not too bad actually. We have Curve Digital in the Discord as well and a moderator.
Right.
So Jay is keeping on top of it. But then you've got us as well that read it every day.
Mm-hmm.
So we're moderating it as well. It's not that bad actually. It's considering how many people are in the Discord, it's not that bad to moderate.
Yeah.
So but yeah, as I said, we've got Curve Digital looking after it as well. So it if we miss
All under
anything,
control. Yeah.
yeah, so it's not too bad.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So when is it like scheduled to hopefully like get the full release? When are you aiming for at the moment?
Summer 2021, I believe.
Summertime. Just in time for lawn mowing season. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. If you can't be bothered mowing your own lawn, just stick lawn mowing simulator on.
Absolutely. So it's been quite a big year for you, Christina. I've noticed a bunch of things popping up on your kind of CV blog website that you've got. You were nominated for the She Plays Games, the 100 list. You got nominated there. You've got nominated for Game Dev Heroes of 2020. Whole bunch of stuff. Come on, explain yourself. What's that all about then?
The She Plays Game podcast list,
Yeah.
that blew me away. I actually nominated a few women myself, and didn't think anything of it for me. So the people I nominated, there are a few of them on there. So when I was reading the list in the morning, I was like, oh yeah, we've got like Nerese from Playground Games and stuff. I
Mhm.
nominated her and she's on there. And I just kept scrolling and I was like, wait, who nominated me? Like I had no idea that I would be on that list. But I feel quite honoured and quite like just humbled to be with such amazing group of women in the industry. Like that's just so cool. It absolutely blew my head off.
Yeah,
crazy.
it's been an amazing past couple of months when I keep seeing more and more like women popping up on my timeline feed as recommended by people that I respect and have a lot of affection for, to recognize this talent that doesn't normally get recognized. And I'm fortunate enough to have a whole bunch on my show with this podcast over the past few weeks as well, which has been simply incredible. Obviously for me personally, to be able to talk directly to them, but also to share, like to try and do a little bit of amplifying of their talent as well, which has been awesome. And of course, rightly so, you should be on that list. Keep saying, I think from the very first episode that you appeared on, I referred to you as the badass. So.
Do you know my mum keeps calling me that now?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she saw the comment you left on like my LinkedIn and stuff, and she
Yeah.
was like, "You're a badass," and I was like, "Fuck, Mum."
Yeah, hiding the head in shame. It's like, oh god, my mum's going to call me a badass now.
She's funny. To be fair though, my mum's watching the show now, so she really enjoys watching the show, so
Oh,
she can be a
fantastic.
badass too.
Well, shout out to Marion in the comments then. Yay, Mama Harper in the chat. Love it.
With the game dev heroes, that was crazy. For to be nominated in a QA category,
Mm-hmm.
like QA, obviously we know don't get too much recognition or like the love that they deserve. So to be in a QA category and nominated for something that the work that I've done on games and stuff was just incredible.
Yeah.
Like you just don't expect this stuff to happen, and yeah, it was just crazy. When I got the email, I was just like rereading it. Are you sure you've got the right person? But it said, it said Christina Harper PlayStation, so I was like, I think I'm the only Christina Harper at PlayStation, so it must be me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just crazy. I believe Holly won. She made the shortlist and she won. She is amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that she won.
Is that Holly Bennett, I'm assuming?
Holly Gordon.
Oh, Holly Gordon, I beg your pardon. Okay.
Yeah.
Too many Hollies that are fantastic in the game dev space.
It's just crazy just to even be like on the shortlist. You've got some incredible people in this industry, especially with QA testers. I know a lot of QA testers that are so deserving of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just crazy. Absolutely crazy. So
it's amazing to see like recognition getting given from like your peers within the industry, and also showing that it's like, oh, okay, I am actually doing like really good work kind of thing, because my people that I respect are getting or are showing me that they recognize like I'm doing a good job, sort of thing. It's hugely important, and I think that's great to see so many of these lists coming out and just highlighting people that we normally would never get to know about necessarily, and it's highlighting talent, like such important talent within the industry, and new people coming into the industry, of course, as well, getting recognized, like rising star categories, all this kind of stuff, that are going to be the voices that kind of shape the industry going forward as well. So it's just amazing to see, and of course you're like a major part of this as well, so kudos.
Even if you don't make the list, it doesn't mean your talents are not recognized and you don't deserve recognition. Like we can see your efforts and they're fantastic. Just because you're not on a list doesn't mean you're not visible. So yeah, we appreciate everyone out there in the games industry. You guys work super hard to make some incredible stuff, so shout out to you guys.
100%. So oh my goodness, that is well, huge congratulations anyway. So
thank you.
We got a bunch of topics to chat about. Monster Hunter Rise just came out. I've been playing that like crazy, and I'm not even a huge Monster Hunter fan, so I'll be talking a little bit about that from a newbie perspective. I also would love to hear your thoughts on it if you've been playing it as well, or if you're familiar with the franchise. Of course, perfect coinciding with the launch of Monster Hunter is Godzilla vs. Kong came out to rent as well. It's kind of a match made in heaven right there. Outriders, which is the big new looter shooter from People Can Fly, That came out, when was it? Yesterday, I think it was. Direct to Game Pass, day and date, free on Game Pass, which is wild. But of course, it's on every other platform as well. And Disco Elysium, the hugely acclaimed, critically acclaimed RPG, story-driven text-based adventure game. It's a real hybrid of like point-and-click adventure stories. Came out on, I believe, PC. Well, it was already out on PC, but the Final Cut version came out on PC, and it's also out on PlayStation 4, 5 as well. So I'll talk a little bit about that. I haven't played very much of it, but I played the opening section, and I also had it originally last year when it came out on the Mac. And what the improvements that they've done to this Final Cut is incredible. And specifically, they've added full voice acting to all of the narration. Now, if anybody is familiar with Disco Elysium, you will be aware that the game is very text heavy. There's a lot of menus, there's a lot of dialogue options that you choose from, and it is very much like a text adventure, point and click, like Monkey Island, Day of the Tentacle, those kind of games. Although, narratively, it is way darker. It's very much adult themes in this kind of cyberpunky world. And it's there's something super unique and interesting about it. But the fact that every single character, for the most part, I believe, is fully voice acted, and the talent of the voice acting is incredible, shows that they didn't just want to port this game to console. I believe it's coming to Xbox and Switch later this year, but they have got some incredible talent for voice acting into this game, and it's staggering how much that changes the feel of the game as well, because now, rather than just reading a character's responses or their inner monologue or how they're reacting to you, you actually get to hear their personality, and it completely changes how you maybe assumed that character would be like, personality wise, tonally wise. And now you can actually hear like the anger, the pain, the angst, the hatred, the passion, whatever, in terms of the dialogue. And my god, it's incredible. Have you played any of Disco Elysium, Christina?
Do you know what? I have not. I have scrolled over the buy button several times,
Yeah.
but I'm trying not to buy games recently because backlogs.
Backlog, I know.
Like, there's backlogs, and then there's the fact that I've got like a Warcraft subscription, and it's like, play,
Yeah.
wow, and then finish something else. Like, stop buying games. But it does look incredible, and I've had so many like people, say this is really good. You should buy it, download it. So I have looked at it quite a few times.
Yeah. The thing that initially impresses you about this game is it's not the character creator, it's more the stat allocation screen. You play a fixed character, and it's this drunken alcoholic, completely despicable cop kind of thing is who you play, but you get to distribute your attributes in the most interesting way that I think I've maybe ever seen in an RPG type of game before. It's not just strength and intelligence and stamina and the typical tropes for stat allocation. It's far more nuanced than that, and it's just wild that they've taken that approach, and it's super impressive that you can really tailor a particular type of character. So if you're sinking all into your intelligence, which would normally be about like how good you are at holding a conversation, there's so many different like nuances for that. There's like empathy, or there's aggression, or there's like different chemical imbalances that you can tap into. So there's a whole different like nuanced subtext of all of the stat builders, and that's just the stat screen, and it's like overwhelming but also incredibly weird and interesting and different. Not for everybody, because it is very much a point and click style of game, but I think the narrative will hook everybody, and fingers crossed that more people get to play it now that it's on consoles and coming to Switch and stuff later on in the year. I don't have an exact date for that, but I think it's at some point during the year. Awesome stuff.
I think that's one of the the things about games with good narrative. It might not be your play style.
Yeah.
But when you start it, you change your mind completely.
Yeah. Yeah, I dipped into another little one which is on Game Pass, which came out I think yesterday or a couple of days before, and it's called Narita Boy. I don't know if you've heard of this or not, but folks in the chat, go check it out, especially if you have Game Pass, because you can just play it and sample it for free. Now, for people of my age, which is old fogey sort of age, like 40 plus, who grew up with Dungeons and Dragons, Tron, fantasy, sci-fi of that era. This is it's tapping into that hard, but it's very much a futuristic vibe, and which you play this kind of character that gets transported inside a computer, and it's pixel art. It has this kind of fisheye effect to make it look like a CRT screen. You've got scan lines and stuff. The pixel art is beautiful, but it's not a roguelite like Dead Cells or a Metroidvania. It's much more an adventure game. And it it looks like Tron. Well, not sorry, it doesn't look like Tron, but it's tapping into that feeling of Tron where you get sucked inside the machine and therefore you're inside the computer. But it's more fantasy based like Dungeons and Dragons, but the aesthetic is very technology driven. So it's pixel art, it's computers, it's mainframes, it's viruses within the system, but the language is done in such a way that you feel like it's a Dungeons and Dragons style of adventure. So it's super interesting so far. The soundtrack is amazing. I just watched a video review on SkillUp about it, who absolutely praised the game. It's this development team's very first game, and he was just gushing over it like crazy, and that prompted me to go give it a try. And just for the soundtrack alone, Jesus, guys, it is so good. It is definitely worth checking out. And it's like an adventure game. It's not like a Metroidvania or a roguelike. It's very much story driven. It's very much kind of like a 2D Link to the Past or something like that, but Dungeons and Dragons style mixed with this kind of pulling from Tron and that kind of late 80s era of pop culture. So check it out because it's damn cool. Damn cool.
Play it now.
Yeah, I think you'll be hooked. I think it's on Switch as well. I think it's on everything, but the fact that it came to Game Pass again costs you kind of nothing just to jump in and see what it's like, and it's very cool. It's got that kind of musical style of like Katana Zero or something like that, but it's doing its own thing as well, and highly recommend so far. Highly recommend. Yeah, anyway, I've waffled way too much there. Sorry. So what are you playing just now, Christina?
Okay, so
is that a list up to your head kind of thing of games?
So I jumped back into Dead by Daylight. So I've been streaming that lately. Probably going to stream it later as well, to be honest, because it's just so fun.
Quite right.
Risk of Rain 2.
Oh, I've got that on Switch.
Oh, it's such a good game. Such a good game.
Tell me more about that, because I tried it solo, and I've heard it's not the kind of game to play solo. You got to play with friends. So please elaborate and like go and go geek out on Risk of Rain 2 for me.
So Risk of Rain, it's like you have like you can pick like a class. So you've got like the hunter, the engineer, the bandit, and they've all got like different abilities. And you can set your load up as well now because you've done like a few updates, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
So basically, you jump in the game, and you have like a little bar in the top right corner, and the game starts off easy, and as you play through, it progresses to like hard, insane. There's a mode that just says ha 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 ha, which is like you're gonna die.
Okay.
So you can play up to like 4 people, I think, 4 or 5 people. So you just go through the levels and you kill monsters. You collect money. You buy turrets, items. The items stack as well, and you can have as many as you want. So you just go through the levels, collect stuff, and your goal is to find the teleporter.
Okay.
And when you find the teleporter, you've got to protect it for however long it is. I think it's like 2-3 minutes maybe. You protect that. You fight a boss, and then you go for the teleporter and progress to the next level. But it's like, I don't know, the soundtrack is just so cool. The graphics are really simple but really effective.
Yeah.
And it's just really fun. Like there's some stupid items like Paul's goat hoof. It gives you like a physical goat hoof, and you can jump higher and stuff.
Okay.
um, One yesterday I picked up a mask. It was like a big wolf head. Sorry. And it gave you like crit strike increase. But there's just like so many random things like teddy bears as well that sit on your back and they squeak every time you get hit. Like it's just so funny. Like some of the items in that game are so crazy. But yeah, I would recommend playing it with friends. You can do it solo, but there's a bit where like it'll get so overwhelming that you're gonna wish someone was
Yeah.
playing it with. But yeah, I love Risk of Rain too. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, because it really can ramp up. Like its design is such that it will. I think it responds to how good you're doing or how bad you're doing. Is it that style of structure, or does it just ramp up? I can't actually remember now.
It just goes.
It just goes. It absolutely does. Yeah. So again, I've heard such great things about that as well, and it's difficult to keep on top of all of these games that are coming out because there's such a back catalogue of amazing games which get overlooked by whatever the latest and greatest thing that's now coming out. Like Outriders just came out, and I really want to dive into that. But at the same time, I am so deep into Monster Hunter Rise at the moment, but that just came out, and I'm doing a replay of the Division 2 with my boys, and we've got that to pick up and play through. I'm also playing the Outer Worlds, which is on Game Pass as well on Xbox, which again just got a next gen patch, which just plays so brilliantly, and I'm really enjoying the humor and the writing in that. For anybody who doesn't know, that is by Obsidian Entertainment, and it's very much that kind of Fallout vibe, but in a brand new kind of sci-fi world setting. It's all about space travel and everything, and it's so funny and so clever. So I've got that to play. I've still got Yakuza Like a Dragon to play. It's like we can't keep on top of everything. It's just wild. And then so you really got to pick and choose. Okay, I've only got maybe 2 hours a night, if you're lucky, to put into something. Okay, what am I going to invest it in now? Because that pile just gets higher and higher and higher. It's impossible to keep on top of.
Season, the new season for Diablo 3 has just come out as well.
No.
Yesterday. Yeah. So
Yeah.
having to play that later as well.
It's a losing battle, right? Oh my goodness. So speaking of Monster Hunter Rise, what's your history with the series, Christina?
I played Monster Hunter World when it came out. I didn't spend too long on it, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in the character like customization screen, and made a palico, and that was that was fun. I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of it. I played it with a few friends, and we did like a few quests and stuff, like slaying monsters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think maybe it's a bit slow for me because it took a while to kill some of the monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
I play like quick pace games. Like Overwatch and stuff. It's very quick, rapid.
Mm-hmm.
It might be an unpopular opinion, but I just felt like it was a little bit too slow for me.
I do agree with that quite a lot actually, because Monster Hunter World was visually like stunning. There's so much I loved about it. I loved the ecology that they created into these big maps. Like everything felt like a believable, organic, weird world. And if you killed a creature, there's benign creatures like herbivores. I'm going to use dinosaur analogies here because it's kind of like dinosaurs. There's like the predators, the carnivores. But if you were to attack a herbivore, for example, just slay it for farming materials like bones or whatever, or skin. The carcass obviously kind of falls over because the monster is dead. But then like birds and vultures would swoop in and start to feast on the carcass as well. And you think, this whole thing like feeds into itself, and It's this kind of really believable cycle of this is an actual world that exists and you're there to hunt a monster and this is its habitat, and it's so reactive. And what really clicked for me with World, that got me interested in the series, but I kind of bounced quite early as well, similar to you, Christina, is that the AI of the monsters are very just different from what I think I had experienced before, where its move set and its attacks will change based on like the different stages of the battle. It will retreat to its lair for the final stage of the battle. It will either try and sleep to rest, or it will eat, or it will try and regain either its armor or its health in some way based on that final kind of arena that it's in. So, and that completely changes then how it will then come out swinging for this last hurrah of battle. And the battles are, yeah, really, really long, or they can be. But I just liked that different way of taking on a like a boss, because it's just a series of bosses that you're essentially going out and slaying. And I thought that was so interesting. But again, I bounced pretty quickly as well. I only spent maybe a dozen or so hours on the game, but I still really liked it. But anyway, Monster Hunter Rise came out. I played the demo, and holy crap, this thing is it. Monster Hunter as a series now has completely clicked for me. There's some new additions, like the Palamute, which is a dog companion. You still get your Palico, which is the cats, but there's new additions. So you can now ride your Palamute, so it's like a mount, and it's much faster. So you know how in Monster Hunter World where you had scout flies and you had to spend a lot of time like tracking the monster and to find out where it was in the map, and then your scout flies would eventually lead you to the monster to then begin this battle. And that could take several minutes, so it's like a really slow process. With Rise, for better or worse, they've completely removed scout flies. So now you know exactly where the monster is. You hop on your Palico and you just hightail it straight in that direction. And it only takes maybe about 20 seconds to get there. So no longer it's minutes of working out where to go. Now, I kind of liked that aspect of the game. It was more investigative. I did kind of like it. So I do hope it comes back in some context for the future. But Rise is all about getting you to the battle, and it's all about the battle with the monster, rather than spending ages trying to figure out, okay, where's the tracks, like where have I got to go, which can be an instant turn off. And it's all about getting you into that battle as fast as possible, and then it's about the battle, the intensity of the battle. So the next big addition is this thing called wire bugs. And it says these little kind of insects that you throw out into the sky, and then it creates this like a Spider-Man web swing. So you can start zipping around the monster like really fast, or you can use it to chain a combo to get you up into the sky, and then you drill down with a crazy attack. Or you can do like this instant recovery move from being knocked down. Now, how many times when we've played Monster Hunter World do you get knocked down and it's so slow to get back up on your feet? By which point it does that thing where the monster would then attack you another couple of times and then you're dead. Basically, you fainted and you got to restart again. And then you got minutes to get to the monster again.
I'd probably prefer that. Oh my god, my voice is like so going today. I'd probably prefer that though, because that sounds quicker.
It is. It's so quick. So you get two of these wire bugs at the start of every mission, and you can pick up another one out in the world as well. So you've got three. So you could chain them together. So you could zip around 3 times, or you could use it to scale mountaintops. Again, verticality is a huge addition in this game. You can actually traverse the environment in such inventive ways now, which is totally different from World, whereas you couldn't really. You had to get the vines, and it was only at vine locations could you climb up. Whereas in Rise, you can really explore more, and so you'll fire out your wire bug on a cliff face or a wall face, and if you press and hold the right bumper, you'll use your stamina to run up. And you can keep on running as long as you've got stamina, so you can literally run up the walls or the cliff faces. Or you can backflip off and then fire out another wire bug and keep on going up and zipping around the environment like this to really explore. It's completely overhauled the move set for Monster Hunter. And it was funny, going back to World, I thought, I can't do this. It's so slow, and it's my character's so immobile after Rise. Rise has completely changed the moveset, and what if we're lucky enough to get a Monster Hunter World 2 or whatever the follow-up to Rise is that comes to PlayStation 5 and Series X and PC. So it looks amazing like World, but it has the move sets and maybe a bit more tracking from World. It could be just like the perfect Monster Hunter game because it's so fast and it's about the combos, the battle with the monster. Battles with the monsters are still long, but because you can like instantly zip around the environment, you've got the Palamute to basically race to the monster. It's just so much more immediate, and it's clicked hard with me now that I love this game, and it's I've now become a big fan of the Monster Hunter series because it's fixed some of the things that I didn't really care for that made it feel, probably like yourself, so clunky and feeling slow. Even though it's not clunky, you have to kind of lean into how Monster Hunter does it rather than fighting against it. And a lot of people, myself included with World, were fighting against how it does things because you're like, why can't you just instantly take a potion? Why can't you just instantly like cancel out of a move because I'm about to get a hit? But that's just, I guess, the way Monster Hunter does things. If you're committed to a giant axe swing and you've messed it up because you've left yourself vulnerable, it's on you because you did that at the wrong time. But you instantly think, okay, I should have a cancel out button to instantly dodge, but that's just not the way Monster Hunter does things. And the things that it's fixed or just improved upon for Rise, so good. I do recommend check out the demo because there is a demo for it on the store. You got to check it out because just the fact that you now got a dog companion and I'm a dog guy, that's it. Game of the year right there.
I'm kind of sold on Rise. The idea of it, like, yeah, I might go check it out. I hadn't like looked at it just because of Monster Hunter World, and I wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've sold Rise a little bit to me, so
I think Rise is going to sell gangbusters. I mean, it has already, because you know how World became the big like breakthrough into mainstream acceptance or getting on board with the series. I mean, I think it's still the highest selling Capcom game ever with over 17 million units sold to date or thereabouts. But and that was obviously multi-platform. Rise has in its first week had sold 4 million units. And World, which was multi-platform in its first week, sold 5 million units. And Rise is only on Switch at the moment, and it's shifted 4 million. So it's coming to PC, I think, next year because it's a timed exclusivity. So that makes me think: could Rise or a souped-up version of Rise come to the consoles maybe next year? And that would be phenomenal if that's the case. But right now, check it out. It's so good.
I'm going to go play the demo in a bit.
Oh.
Great. Another game to add.
Yeah. Ignore Diablo. Diablo's the same. Just go play Rise instead.
Yeah, well, there's a new season. New stuff.
I know. Oh goodness. Where are we next on the list? So, Outsiders. Have you had a chance to play or know anything about Outsiders from People Can Fly?
Nope. I've had to look at some of the screenshots and videos and stuff. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
A lot of the reviews are quite mixed. I think it was just because the servers were crashing and stuff with the mixed reviews are coming in. But there's a lot of people saying like it's really fun. You know, it's hard when you've just like launched a game and there's a few issues. But people are saying it's fun. Yeah. So
yeah, I played the demo quite a lot, and it was one of those games where the prologue is really bad. It's not a good tutorial prologue, first kind of couple hours. But when you start getting to pick your outsider class, which is a pyromancer, technomancer, trickster, or the devastator class, which is like the tank character, and you start unlocking some better weapons, you start unlocking the skills, that's when it becomes a lot of fun. And it runs obviously really, really well on the next gen systems. It looks really sharp, and I'm really looking forward to just kind of playing more of it and seeing what that's like, because they mapped out, that's the thing about People Can Fly, they had a phenomenal communication strategy before the game came out. about, okay, this is what the end game is going to look like. There's a demo. This is a huge demo. This is a full run through as to what the demo gives you. I think it's super impressive that, from an industry standpoint, how open and good that communication has been. And I'd love to get your thoughts on that side of a new IPs that need to communicate versus the thing we're used to, where a lot of the developers, publishers don't come out saying, like, what is the end game for your game, being more open in general with communication and development as well.
Yeah, I think when companies are open and honest, people sort of sway towards that company a bit more, have a bit more faith in them, a bit trust in them.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, just be honest with your games. Like, the community will be happy for it if just upfront about stuff. I'm seeing a lot of companies be a bit more open about the development of their games, and or any feedback or issues they run into as well. Yeah, just be honest with your games. We
Yeah.
respect that. Um, I've always respected studios that come out and say, we're not going to meet this deadline. Period. You're going to have to wait.
Mhm.
Whether it be a year, a month or two. I respect that. You want to take time and make sure you've got like a really good game for the end user to play. So,
Yeah,
be honest with it.
that's it. I mean, open lines of communication with your audience is really invaluable if it's done right, and uh audiences are can be incredibly understanding if they're spoken to, and everything's just a bit more open more than
Yeah.
anything. And because we don't want another like Anthem situation where all this time and effort gets put into a new IP or a new game, and because there's not a clear communication line of the situation of the game, or what the roadmap is, the thing gets killed off, and then everybody that wanted to support it, tried to support it at the beginning, are now left with a game that well, I mean, I know the servers are still open, but it's not going to get improved upon. There's no more patches coming. There's no more content coming. So, like, what are those players left with? Just nothing to play ultimately, which is a real shame. And my worry is that I could see Avengers going in that route as well, which really worries me, because the Avengers IP should never have been in the situation it's in just now. And they've mapped out a really interesting roadmap, which is positive for sure. I mean, I'm really excited for the Wakanda expansion pack, which is coming later on in the year, and there's a lot of quality of life stuff coming on. But at the same time, it's only been out a few months. No, hold on. When did it come out? Did it come out last year? Sorry, it came out last year. Yeah, God, time is a vortex these days. I know. But again, it should never have been in this situation, like 6 months down the line from launch, where, oh my God, the player base has dropped like crazy. It's cratered. When you've got the Avengers IP for a live service game, he's thinking this should have been a slam dunk. And
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that kind of open communication with, okay, what we're trying to do, what we're doing going forward to really make this an incredibly successful long-term product, that the community is only as good, it's only as strong as the community that puts time into it as well. Anyway, I'm rambling again. I keep rambling like crazy. Yeah, open lines of communication is just invaluable, really. Yeah.
Do you know what? I have not seen much about the Avengers at all.
That's the worry, right? That's the worry.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it in like shops and shelves, and then gone, oh yeah, the Avengers is out on like PlayStation or whatever. But my feed's like filled with game industry stuff, games, and I never see the Avengers come up.
Yeah,
which is a shame.
It is a shame, because I was playing it after the next gen patch, which came out just a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, and so it's been optimized for Series X and PlayStation 5, and it looks and runs really well. I mean, the graphics the graphics tech there that Crystal Dynamics have pulled together is stunning. It is a definitely stunning looking game. But for me, the biggest problem with it is the looter shooter structure for an Avengers game I was never on board with anyway, so it was already a pretty tough sell. And then it kind of went downhill there for a lot of people because it's just grinding the same mission types over and over, where you go to this bunker and kill a bunch of guys, and then you get a new gauntlet thing for Iron Man's blaster, and then you have to do the same thing over and over again. So it was already a tough sell for me for that type of game. Whereas you look at something like, I'm probably going to go on a massive rant here, so I apologize, but you look at something like Miles Morales or Insomniac Spider-Man, story-driven open world game. There's no looter shooter aspects to it. There's equipment and upgrades and stuff like that, but every facet of those games are tightly constructed. It takes you on this tremendous story, and you also have this playground, this open world to swing around in, and it's phenomenal because they've crafted something that is for a single player experience. Now I know there's a single player game in Avengers, and it is really good, but it's anchored to the level design structure of grinding looter shooter driven formats of go to this bunker and find out, King of the Hill sort of stuff, where you have to hack into a terminal. So Hulk has to stand in this tiny little freaking circle whilst waves of robots are coming at him. He's like, come on, Avengers deserves so much more than this kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm going to stop ranting because I don't want it to be turned into an angry podcast. It's a fun podcast.
I just had a quick look at the reviews as well on Steam for Avengers, and it doesn't look good.
It's a shame. It really is a shame because the talent at that studio is phenomenal. And yeah, it's a shame.
Someone's put, very good, has 4 in it, thumbs up from me.
He's got, that person got what they came for. And that's all they wanted was Thor to swing a big old hammer. And that's it, done.
They've got what they wanted.
Yeah.
I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
I love it.
Amazing. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
They're not great reviews, but it's a shame. It's a big shame.
I know.
And someone's put, I just like it.
I mean, it's kind of like switch your brain off and just mash a bunch of stuff, and that's it. And and it is fun because there's a lot of cool combos and stuff, and there's a lot of cool like special moves, like superhero special moves, where Thor slams Mjolnir into the ground and electricity goes everywhere. I can get the eye candy popcornness of it for sure, but I just wanted more. I just wanted something special for that IP, Mm-hmm. Anyway. So what else is going on in Christina Land? You're playing World of Warcraft still, I believe. You got sucked back into another clan, did you, recently? Or was that something else? I can't remember.
That would have maybe League of Legends.
Oh.
That I've sucked into.
Okay. Oh my goodness. League of Legends is something I have no idea what that is.
It's like it's a MOBA. It's like top-down view. It's a little bit. It's like kind of slow and kind of fast-paced. It's slow at the start because you have to like grind your level. You have to kill minions, level up, get your abilities, max them out, and then towards the end, when everyone's like high level, got all the abilities, it gets a bit like quicker.
Right.
The one thing I will say is the community's not great on it. I mean,
really?
I mean, it's if you Google League of Legends community, it's no surprise that it's like pretty toxic.
Oh shit! Okay, wow.
Yeah, it's I rage quit the other night because I played a match and it was horrendous. I was just like, I'm done. It was so bad. I won't repeat what they said, but yeah, it was awful. But it's quite fun if you're playing with friends, like a 5-stack, then it's absolutely fine. So I'm just gonna stick to playing with my friends on League from now on because it's pretty awful.
That's such a shame to hear like communities that are like that, and you have to only play with people that you trust. And I mean, a lot of people only ever do that, and of course that's totally fine. But it's a shame where stuff like that can't be just stamped out. It's like, no, it's just unacceptable.
Yeah,
and it should be stamped out.
Sorry. When it comes to Warcraft and Overwatch, I can play that by myself, like, fine. Because in Overwatch, no one is really... It's a little bit toxic when you're in competitive.
Right.
But it's not to the extent of League.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it's crazy, and you can always turn the voice chat off in Overwatch as well, so you don't have to listen to all the garbage going on. So
That's good. Yeah, I think like lobby chat or whatever it's kind of typically referred to as being able to control that. I think is hugely important because a lot of the time it's just profanity, like all the time, and especially if you're just a kid that loves Overwatch or loves Warcraft or even League of Legends, and they're instantly exposed to all of this. It makes me pretty terrified of whenever my son grows up and wants to play be a part of this industry that I love so much as well, and then he's exposed to stuff. And I mean, he's only a baby just now, so who knows what the gaming space is going to look like in 10 years or whatever. Could be totally different. Maybe it's all VR and maybe something different entirely. I don't know, but it's
well,
just better
with Warcraft,
ambassadors, better
yeah,
procedures or
better
something.
moderation and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So with Warcraft, Warcraft isn't that bad because you do get a few people who join like a raid group and they'll kick off occasionally. Um, I just remove them straight away. I'm just
That's
like
good.
bye. Um, but because people are paying a subscription, they don't want their account banned because you're paying £10 a month for this, and the worst thing you want to do is get your account banned.
Yeah.
Um, whereas League of Legends is free, so even if you do get banned, you can just make a new account. Like there's no
Okay, right, yeah. So there's no real
you know
investment as such, other than time, and we know what people are like with Twitter and stuff as well. They'll just create new fake accounts just to harass people.
Mhm.
Um, but it's a shame that I mean, okay, on one hand, it's great that League of Legends is free, but having the subscription does weed out a lot of griefers.
Yeah.
And Final Fantasy, sorry, not 17. Final Fantasy 14 is good in the sense that it is a subscription base, so you have to be invested. You have to
Yeah.
want to be hopefully a good part of that community and developing that whole game, that whole world, that whole universe, that whole global community into hopefully something good that enjoys Final Fantasy. And I've had a little bit of time with Final Fantasy 14, and whilst I haven't really played with specifically anybody, I can already see that like some people that I don't necessarily know that well are like, oh yeah, you should join this world or this server, and it seems a bit more open. I guess it's a bit more kind of welcoming in that regard. Again, I don't know the community that well. I'm assuming it's pretty good, but maybe there's pockets here and there that are not so good as with anything.
Do you know what? I play Final Fantasy quite a bit, and I've never had the experience of someone being, toxic on that game.
That's excellent, and that's what you want to
I,
hear. Yeah,
I can't think of any time that I've read the chat and gone, "Wow, too far."
yeah.
That's
Do you, do you
that's, that's
think
interesting, actually. Yeah.
do you think it's because it's more of a subscription based thing, so there is more of um a reason of people wanting to be there to contribute in a positive way rather than just bring it down and be toxic.
Yeah, I suppose because it's the same with Warcraft.
Yeah.
You don't get many people talking absolute smack on that
Oh,
game, really. Like, it's not. It's so the difference between like League and Warcraft is League they can like go for you personally and start like bringing like I don't know like real world issues and situations into the chat and start like talking about them.
yeah,
Whereas on Warcraft, it's just like your damage is low,
yeah.
but it can be a bit like harsh, like you're rubbish, go and uninstall the game. But that's like the only
Mm,
bad thing people really say. Just how bad you are at the game and your characters and stuff like that. You see it in the raid chats all the time. People picking on each other. But yeah, I've never actually seen anyone be toxic in Final Fantasy.
yeah. We just had a comment in the chat there, which I pulled up. Like Elder Scrolls community has a great community. That was a comment from David in the chat. So that's obviously really encouraging as well. But again, is Elder Scrolls? It was paid originally, right? But I think it's now
They,
completely free to play.
yeah, I think they've removed the sub.
Right.
Um, I quite like Elder Scrolls. I was gonna download it yesterday again, install it, and play it again. I like the fact they took the subscription off. But again, I think with sub-based games, it does get rid of it does filter the
Mm.
the toxicity and stuff. So
Yeah.
but I've obviously apparently from the comments that it's not that bad. So
That's good. It's encouraging, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my friend, my best friend Steph, she plays Elder Scrolls a lot, and she's never mentioned anything bad to me. Like whenever she plays WoW with me, if someone says something like a really bad comment, she'll always tell me. But she never talks about Elder Scrolls. So it
That's
must be a
good.
good community.
It must be a good community, exactly, and that's what we want more of, and that's why we try to, I don't know, have standards, right, to make everything as welcoming as possible. To say no, that's just totally unacceptable. Do it again, you're banned, you're out, and if they keep doing
Yeah.
it, get rid of it. Just stamp it out of your circles, your communities, and stuff. And
It's one thing I like about Blizzard. They do take their reports seriously. Like seriously.
that's good.
When you report someone on Overwatch, you'll always get like notified if they've been like dealt with, spoken to. I've reported so many people in League of Legends and nothing. You
Yeah,
don't know if they've been like penalized for it.
yeah. There's no consequences or follow up or anything. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like a hollow report, then, isn't it? Which is
yeah. It feels
disappointing.
like it when Blizzard get back to you and say, the screen pops up when you log into Overwatch and it's like, thanks for your report. We've
Hmm.
read it and we really appreciate you reporting it. You kind of feel a bit like you've got a bit of faith in the company. I know Blizzard hasn't been great in the past, couple of months and stuff, but one thing I do quite like about them is just their report system. I think it's good. They do take it seriously. They pay attention. The game masters and WoW as well.
Mm.
They're not too quick at their responses because they're like so busy. But when they get back to you, they just investigate everything for you and make sure you feel comfortable and happy. And gaming's meant to be a safe space. Um, and I feel like WoW is my safe space just because I quite have faith in Blizzard. So
Yeah,
quite a lot. So yeah.
that's good. That's great. That's what we want for more things, because gaming should be a safe space for people to enjoy their video games and meet up with their friends, especially now because we can't actually physically meet up a lot of the
Yeah.
time. So shout out, kudos to the Blizzard community then as well, and the Final Fantasy community. Awesome stuff. Yeah. Okay. So let's wrap up with something a bit of fun that's not really gaming related as such, and it is of course the monster movie Godzilla versus Kong. Oh my god. Oh my god. How so, Christina, do you like big popcorn, overblown, ridiculous monster movies?
Yeah. So I don't know if people have seen these films. I'm just gonna reel off a few,
Yeah.
and you might have heard of them, might not have. Avalanche sharks, lava tarantula. There's obviously Sharknado.
Oh, of course, Sharknado.
You've got sand sharks, ghost shark.
Oh my god.
These are all like on the sci-fi channels on your TV. Lava tarantula is like big, massive tarantula just covered in lava, and they attack the town and stuff like that.
Oh my goodness,
You've got like
wild.
eight-legged freaks. Yeah, it's just avalanche sharks as well. The sharks come out of the snow.
What?
Like
How does that work?
honestly, there's just sharks in the snow, and whenever like they stand on the snow and it crunches, the sharks are just like dun, 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 dun. It's just so weird.
I
Like
mean,
I watch all these films, like they're so funny.
I love the concept of it, like snow sharks. Okay.
Ghost shark is so weird. There's like on Jaws where there's a bit where he bites into the boat and the guy's like sliding down.
Yeah.
On Ghost Shark, it's like a ghost shark and he's got his mouth open and the guy's just getting dragged into his mouth. But it's like a see-through shark. And I'm like, how does this work?
Does the like person disappear when they go into his mouth, or can you still see them getting digested and stuff?
Eyes gone.
Just gone. Maybe it gets like transported into like the spectral world or something.
I'm gonna have to send you a link afterwards, but
yeah.
like
I think we're gonna have to have a separate podcast really dissecting the mathematics of all of this stuff and breaking it down. Okay, what happens in Is it a ghost realm he goes to, or what?
Oh, that was it. So it's a slip and slide. So there's a kid, and he's on a slip and slide,
Okay.
and the shark just goes like, "Dun," and the kid just goes, "Pew,"
Wow.
gone,
Wow.
gone.
That's amazing.
I love all these kind of like monster, just I love bad CGI as well. Like no disrespect to the directors and stuff who've made these films. They are quite old though, and you know how CG evolves over time.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, I love just like bad CG movies.
Well, that's what's
CGI
funny
movies.
about going back and watching Jaws, right? This giant rubber mechanical shark that's terrifying.
I'm pretty sure in one of the scenes you can see the mechanic in its mouth as well.
Probably, most
I think
likely,
so.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I love cheesy films like that. I think
Yeah.
La Avalanche was just the weirdest one because it was just it's
I,
like a
I,
woman with a shotgun as well, and she's like, and this tarantula's just like, it's on fire. It's so crazy.
it doesn't make any sense, but let's just go with it. This sounds amazing. So, okay, you're gonna really love Kong versus Godzilla versus Kong then, because it is that. It's just a monster battle. That is cheesy, yep, but the visual effects are actually amazing. I was really floored by just how good the CGI is across the board and all the different shots of these cities just getting annihilated as Kong and Godzilla are just like smashing up Hong Kong and destroying these skyscrapers. And it actually tells quite an interesting story. It's a little bit more weighted toward Kong and his backstory, and I think it kind of you get the impression that it kind of wants you to side with Kong a bit more than Godzilla. But come on, Godzilla, nobody beats Godzilla. But Godzilla is just such a badass god-like creature. I heartily recommend it. Big bucket of popcorn, switch your brain off, and just enjoy the monster carnage. It's just mental. A comment from David in the chat there. Those old Japanese monster movies are fun. You're like the old black and white ones. The guy, it's like the person in the rubber suit, right? Wasn't that it?
The monster, the
Yeah.
swamp monster. What's it called?
Oh,
From the
Swamp Thing.
lagoon? No, the lagoon.
Oh, the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah,
That one.
that
Yeah.
was like black and white, wasn't it? And
I think so.
the
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
costume thing. Yeah, I like that one. That's good.
Oh god, what a blast! But anyway, yeah, that's available I think on home premiere at the moment because it obviously couldn't get a cinema release. So it is a rental. It's quite it's that what they're doing just now. You know what it is with it's like the price of a cinema ticket to rent the movie. But honestly, I recommend it. It's worth the night rental. It's really good fun. Have a night in cinema at home, and it's just a blast. Anyway. That's quite enough of that. It's Pedro! We got Pedro! Where's Pedro Cam? We need Pedro Cam.
I'm debating, like, when I move, I'm debating just getting a camera for Pedro.
You should.
So I
You
can
should.
stream on Twitch and, hello, what do you want?
Well, see, I see people all the time on Twitch having their dog camera. Pedro Cam needs to be a thing. It has to happen.
I want a Pedro cam. Like, he
Honestly.
always just comes in when I'm talking to people.
I know. He just wants to be a part of the stream. So, audio listeners, you're missing out. You're going to have to head over to YouTube and see the VOD of this because we've got little Pedro at the 1 hour 5 minute mark or thereabouts. So, anyway, so look at that little guy. Look at that. Fantastic. Anyway, right, that is quite enough for today's broadcast. A massive shout out to Christina again for joining me. Third time, the triple threat on the podcast. The Weekend Catch Up Club. This has been episode 35. Thank you to everybody who's been tuning in, whether you are watching on YouTube on demand or you're listening on Spotify or podcast services. A huge thank you. I'll be back next week with another great guest. I believe it is Sam Price from Ubisoft is going to be the guest. So that is going to be an awesome one. Tune in for that. Same time next Saturday, 11 a.m. UK time. But until next time, guys, take care and have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.